We're going to move on to our last topic, and this one is kind of, I was thinking, okay, what could we talk about yesterday when I was watching PTI after getting home? It was late. I had it DVR'd. I got home from recording the Primetime Podcast, watch Tony and Wilbon, and they had the discussion of, is it time for Jared Goff to start? And that's what we're going to talk about here, Sean. Is it time? Should Jared Goff be named the starter now for the Los Angeles Rams?
This is difficult because I've been saying for a long time that the Los Angeles Rams are not a good team, and I'll also be saying, even though they're 3-4, the only reason they were winning those games was because of turnover differential. But what I'm trying to say is that I think that the team that he's currently on, Case Keenum, is a terrible quarterback, and I will stand by that. I don't think it is, because why throw him into a fire where, this team's going to be bad. This team doesn't have an offensive line. This team doesn't have a rushing game because there is no offensive line. They don't have weapons. Why throw him in there? Just let him learn. I think because I'm going to throw this out there. Tom Brady had time to grow and develop. Aaron Rodgers had time to grow and develop. I think that he should kind of watch a little bit. Why? I don't think there should be that much of a rush, because it's not like this Los Angeles team, this Rams team is like a make or break. This team was bad. This team's still bad. I don't think there's any reason to rush him in. I think it's kind of the thing, well, you got to see what you have in him, but also you're not going to see much from him because there's not that much of a team around him. And I know some people will say, well, great quarterbacks will change that. Great quarterbacks will affect that. But I don't think that this team is in the position where Jared Goff will change that much. You don't have a wide receiver threat. You have Todd Gurley, but you don't have an offensive line to open holes for Todd Gurley. You don't have an offensive line to protect Jared Goff. I think it would be kind of not pointless, but I think it would be very stupid to do it because you're not going to see that much from him because there's not that much of a team around him.
Well, the thing that I'm looking at is part of me wants to say, no, don't have him start. But that is a selfish reason on my part, because when me and Mark did the bold predictions for this season, one of my bold predictions is that Jared Goff would not play a single game this season for the LA Rams, and that he would sit all 16 of their games, because let's be honest, no one had them in the playoffs in the preseason. And part of me goes, yeah, you know what? Case Keenum sucks. But do you guys really...
He's the worst quarterback in the league.
Do you really need to do that well this season? And right now, it's a tricky situation for the Rams, because there are right now 7 teams. They'd be the 8th pick at best. Well, best being the highest pick. There are 7 teams basically worse than them, and the best possible pick, lowest pick that they could get is the 8th overall pick as of right now. Obviously, that can change by the time we get to the end of the year, but part of me goes, well, if you've got Goff and you think he's the guy, why not kind of let Case Keenum be the guy that where it's like, okay, we're just going to let you do it, see what you can do, and then if we end up with a top 10 pick, we end up with a top 10 pick to where we can, oh, wait, that's right. You know what I'm forgetting? It's the Titans pick. Never mind. Forget that. Start Jared Goff.
See, you're throwing him into I think... I don't agree with Jeff Fisher much, but what Jeff Fisher said was, I'll make changes at the receiver before I make changes at the QB. There's no one to throw to. Case Keenum's terrible. He's going to be terrible no matter who he's throwing to, but he also doesn't have a receiver. He doesn't have a reliable back to hand it off to, because Todd Gurley doesn't have a line. I think there's no reason to throw Jared Goff out there, because you're with a garbage run game, a garbage O-line, and a garbage receiving core. He's gonna probably play like garbage if he does that, and that's straight from Reddit. And I agree with it. It's just he's gonna be playing like garbage, and it's not like he's gonna be making rookie mistakes. He's gonna be just playing like garbage just because that team is garbage. I think there's no point, and I think you throw the team that you have out there just to get them experience, and you save Jared Goff from possible injury, because he's going to get sacked a lot.
And when I said start Jared Goff, that was obviously a joke. But the thing that does hurt the Rams is you don't have a pick this year. You gave it to the Tennessee Titans because you don't have, like, you wanted to get Goff. You had to give that pick away. So you're not going to get guys like Juju Smith from USC. You're not going to get guys like Mike Williams. But I look at right now some of the wide receivers that we could have, and I know
they need an offensive line before they need a receiver.
But a wide receiver wouldn't hurt.
Hey, Alshon Jeffrey's a free agent, most likely.
Do you really think he'd go play for the Rams?
They gave him enough money.
You think he'd go play for the Rams?
I think he'd go anywhere for enough money.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. I think he'd go anywhere for enough money. He's going to go to a contender before he goes and shoots up.
Just saying, I think he'd go anywhere for the money.
Yeah, well,
most people.
That could be it, but I think winning, especially when you're on a team that's only won one game this season, kind of has it. But even if we're going to go offensive tackle in the second round, if you have that pick available to you because you don't have the first one, the best guy right now, and obviously this will all change, but according to CBS's draft boards, the best one you might be getting is a Roderick Johnson if he falls, but probably a Mike McGlinchey from Notre Dame. It's the top one you're going to get. And right now, a guy from Notre Dame, do you really want him with how that team has played?
Okay. Hey, hold on. Why are we throwing shots at Notre Dame here?
Apparently, it's a joke at apparently Brian Kelly when he blamed the offensive line for that loss at
Brian Kelly
NC.
should be blamed for the loss here.
Oh, I know. Me and
what's
Brandon
up with these unwarranted shots for Notre Dame?
I'm not giving shots at Notre Dame.
You just gave a shot at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't like Notre Dame. That's how
I don't like you.
No,
how's Illinois doing?
You love me. Notre Dame sucks. And
how's Illinois doing?
I mean, Illinois sucks.
How's Illinois been doing for the past, I don't know, the whole program of their existence? They made it to the Rose Bowl once. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know.
How's that Rose Bowl birth been? How's that USC beatdown felt?
Yeah, it's not that good.
All right. Point is, Jared Goff should not be starting because he's going to be on a bad team. He's going to look bad.
But the thing with the Rams, getting it back to them, I don't know if this team has A, direction, and B, I don't know if Jeff Fisher's the guy.
He's not.
To get them in a direction to have Goff succeed even when he gets in.
He's not. Jeff Fisher's not a good coach. There's a reason I think he's close to having the most losses in NFL history, and it's not because he's been around for a long time. It's just because he's a bad coach. He's not close on the win list either. Jeff Fisher's not a good head coach, and I think they have a fairly decent direction, especially when you have a guy like Aaron Donald, when you have a guy like Todd Gurley, you have a guy like Jared Goff who you can build around. It's really, you need to bring in offensive line help. You need to bring wide receiver help in, and I think that defense is fine where it's at. I think you just need to focus mainly on offensive line help and wide receiver help. And hey, Joe Thomas is apparently out there for a second-round pick. I don't think that's a bad trade.
Really? Because last thing I heard, unless things change, Hugh Jackson said they're not interested in trading Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas, like a week ago, said like he's not interested in moving. I mean, the report comes out that they're trading for a second-round pick, and now I'm just saying, if that was out there, I think the Rams should have taken it. Just saying.
Hey, anything at this point could help the Rams, but the last question I have that I want to ask you about Jared Goff is, do we see Goff kind of have a similar not trajectory, that's not the word I'm looking for.
That's a made-up word.
A similar trend or a similar track that we saw with the last Cal quarterback that we saw in the same situation, except he was sitting behind somebody who was
one of the greatest all time. Yeah.
Great for quarterbacks. Do we see Jared Goff maybe have the same kind of success that Aaron Rodgers had, where I not like winning a Super Bowl, but like I sat for a few years, and then when he starts, he's a quality I'm just going to go with quality quarterback for the Rams.
Oh yeah, I think he could be a quality quarterback. I said he was going to be better than Carson Wentz. I think that Jared Goff's a good quarterback. I think that he just wouldn't be a good quarterback if he was put into the situation that the Rams are currently in. I think that Jared Goff, I mean, we haven't seen what Jared Goff can do, so I mean, there's definitely the chance that he can be a quality quarterback. There's a quality chance he can be a good quarterback. We just haven't seen him.
If you were Jeff Fisher, I'm putting you in the pocket of Jeff Fisher, in the shoes of Jeff Fisher.
All right, so I'm going 8-8.
If you were at the end of the season, you're not going to make the playoffs, you've got a few games left, do you give in to the fans and say, you know what, let's see what the kid can do? Or do you stick by your guns and say, no, he ain't playing this year?
I would say leave it. Because you saw him rush Vince Young into the same situation as well. He ran Vince Young early into his career when Vince Young was not ready to be a quarterback, and Vince Young obviously did not work out well. And that was mainly because Vince Young was shaken and battered by a bad team around him. So I think that he's kind of learned from that. And I think he's going to either leave Goff into a situation where, all right, there's an injury, he needs to play because he's the only damn quarterback we have. I think that's really the only way that Jared Goff starts.
I think that I'm going to lean towards no, mainly because I want my bold prediction to be correct, but also I think that if you get to a point where you're out for sure and maybe it's the last 3 games of the year and fans are getting tired of looking at Case Keenum, what's a good way to sell some tickets, especially for some final home games? Throw Jared Goff out there. You get to see the number 1 pick. You get a boost in ticket sales in the stadium at USC for the Rams. But really, overall, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would actually not be against if they sat Jared Goff the rest of the year. But before I close this thing out, did we miss anything with the Jared Goff discussion?
Jared Goff, no. We didn't miss anything with Jared Goff.
Sean's like, could we quickly get off this? That he's a quarterback that shouldn't play this year.
Jeff Fisher's a bad coach, but he's making the right decision here.
But that's going to do it for the Onside Kick this week. I want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank you, Sean, for stepping in for Mark this week.
Thanks for having me on. Mark, come back soon.
You know what? You are always welcome to the Onside Kick whenever you want to talk a little football. I know you're big basketball with the fast break, but you're welcome to talk football with us all the time.
I will probably come back on and talk about Tom Brady a lot more.
Well, yeah, that's all Sean.
If you guys ever need a Tom Brady expert, you know a guy.
No, I do know a guy, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, but you're close.
Both beautiful guys. Both beautiful.
But thank you guys for checking out the Onside Kick this week. Go down below, hit me and Sean up both on Twitter, and check out Most Valuable Podcast at mostvaluablepod.com. Also, check out our Patreon page. You love this podcast. You're like, hey, guys, why isn't it in a video podcast on YouTube? Go check out that Patreon page, patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. Just an extra way for you guys to support the channel other than hitting the like and subscribe button. I want to thank you guys one last time for checking out this podcast because we really do appreciate it. But as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.